Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast. I'm Dane Hennen. To my right, Levi Gates.
Yeah.
To my left, an
Anthony
empty chair.
Oh, not Anthony.
Yeah, so I suppose we'll just get that part out of the way.
Anthony's still sick.
Yeah, that didn't stop.
So we did our
after we went
live
on our trip.
We did our live Q&A. Right. He was sick.
We had him, and he was not
really feeling all that great. Then he found out he had a ear infection. Mm-hmm. Then we left. We did our podcast on Monday. He didn't come into work because he was so sick.
Yeah.
So we didn't have him on the podcast on Monday. Then we flew at 4 a.m. on that Tuesday.
Super.
To Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
So Anthony got to experience a cross-country flight.
With an ear infection.
And when we landed in Minneapolis, he instantly got a bloody nose.
Poor guy.
As soon as we got off the plane, his nose just started gushing blood. It was crazy. But then you guys, we basically did a lot.
That was probably the single most physically intensive trip I think we've gone on.
Yeah, you guys did you packed.
Well, and we didn't know what we were going to get until we got there.
Well, we literally had no plan.
Because we
hadn't had confirmation from
plan.
Everybody. Yeah,
we make a loose plan, but that's the thing is, anytime you're dealing with you're dealing with YouTubers, they kind of set their own schedule. Stuff works out. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And in the case of I'll just get this out of the way. We shot with Freddie, aka Tavarish, and Adam LZ.
Yeah.
And in the case of Adam LZ, that was a complete surprise. We didn't think we were going to shoot.
Well, it was funny. We've been reaching out to Adam for quite a while, letting him know that this trip was coming up since
we were going to be back
before
in town.
SEMA.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, we're going to be here on these dates. Here you go. This is what we're going to do. Can you do stuff? And he's been a busy guy.
Yeah.
And
he's up and around. So
he literally didn't text back until Anthony had texted. He's like, yeah, when are you guys in town? We were like, we're here.
We're here right now.
And he's like, oh my gosh, okay, text me tomorrow. And so that's what happened. And so then it was from there, that's when it started working. And you guys had already lined out that you were going to do stuff with Tavarish on this day with Freddie. And then we were going to do stuff with Matt on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
those were locked in, but only just just enough to give
we'll
a rough idea.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out when we get there as far as what we do.
So anyway, so the boys are going to talk about that on once we get Anthony back. We'll have him share his side of the story. But basically, we landed in Orlando. We flew all day. We left Boise at 4. We landed in Orlando at 5. Got our rental car. For those of you that are wondering, we rented a Suburban.
Worked out
that
great.
Was really great again. Brand new Suburban. And then
so new, it had 400 miles on it, and there was still plastic wrapping.
Everything was
everything.
still on it was pretty crazy. So headed to the house, the Airbnb that we rented. This was a fun thing.
It's a funky
3
house.
bedrooms. So it's funny. We got the email, and one of the funny things about the email was that it said you have to walk upstairs. That's all it said on the bottom. And I thought that was kind of weird. I was like,
kind of like an interview where you must be willing
so
to
you
lift
have to walk
50
upstairs.
pounds
That's
or,
what it said.
Something like that.
Well, what it was when you walk in the first floor, there's a door to the garage, a door to a closet, and then a bathroom on the first floor.
Like a bedroom.
A bedroom and a bathroom, a bed with an ensuite, and then staircase on the side. And you walk up the staircase, and on the second floor was a half bath, a kitchen, dining, and living room all in one. That was the second floor. Then you go up to the third floor, and it was 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms up there, both with en suites. And so you got the bottom floor room.
Yep.
That had how many beds in it?
It had 4 beds, but they were beds for tiny people.
They were twin beds, 4 twin beds.
Little kids was the size of the beds.
Yeah.
It was twin beds or something.
Yeah.
They were not large. My feet stuck out at the end of them, and I am not a tall man.
That was fun.
I am not.
So, so you had that. Then Anthony and I went upstairs, and we took one of the rooms. Mm-hmm. But there was a queen bed and a double bed and a twin up there. And then we went into the master bedroom that Jeff had, and there was a king-size bed and a twin bed.
Yeah.
So we took the twin out of Jeff's room, put it into Dane and Anthony and I's room, and Anthony pushed 2 twins together to sleep on that.
Yep.
And then we ran downstairs that night and told you to push your 2 beds together.
Yeah.
Maybe push all 3 together and recreate the Dane of Thrones bed.
It was a case where you're like, you'll thank us later. Just do it.
It was just a lot easier to have 2 beds. So that was how we kind of slept. And then Wednesday we went to Epcot. Had a good time wandering around. We went with
I have
his sister.
always wanted to go there, and I'll be honest, I'm a food and drink kind of guy, as you can see by my body type. I was so excited to go there and eat and drink around the world.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's a compelling case. Like and Alex, Anthony's sister, she was explaining. She's like, it's more of an adult Disney World where, it's not. There's not as many rides.
There's enough
and stuff,
Disney,
but it's geared towards the parents and
and there was enough Disney. Like you go into the stores, and
there's
so
still like kid stuff.
When you're in
too.
the France section, like it's Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
When you're in the UK section, it's like Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella and stuff. And then when we were in Norway, it was Frozen, and Japan was
But I love
China was Mulan.
That each country you go to is staffed by people from that country.
That was the other cool thing.
So it really adds an air of authenticity, and it's
they're
genuine. Like,
either using their accents or they're actually speaking.
Yeah, no, it was super cool because when the first one walks by and you're like, that was a really good accent, and then you go, wait a second, oh, they're like actually
it says it on their badge.
Yeah,
too.
They're basically ambassadors in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very cool.
That was cool. Germany was fun. We had some brats in
yeah.
Germany,
So
and then when we were in France, we went to a bakery in the back and got a bunch of wicked. It was awesome.
Yeah, sake in Japan.
Yeah, got some beer in the UK, and then beer in Germany again, and it was a lot of fun to just cruise through there. I really liked Norway and Mexico a lot.
Yeah. Mexico was super cool because it was mostly indoors.
And it was all Coco style.
Because they did it, like Festival of the Dead kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, so that was
nighttime.
So we did that on Wednesday. Then that night we went and had dinner with Dylan and Alberto of Rupes. We went to Disney Springs and we ate at Raglan Road, which was an Irish pub we saw last year that we really liked, but we went and ate, and that was fun because there was a band, there was dancers, it was
super lively too.
Yeah, it was just a fun place to be. So that was that, and then the next day was we went back home and we were up, till 1 o'clock in the morning, because we had to work on our project and get our test all ready or get our class ready to go. And then Thursday I was teaching a class first thing in the morning for Mobile Tech Expo.
That's right.
And got in, and last year we had about 75 people in our class, but we were teaching in the afternoon. This time we were the very first class in the morning, one of the first 5 classes in the morning. And let's just say some people are probably really hungover because we had maybe 17 people show up to our class.
It was a small class. Try not to take it personally.
It was small, but it was fun. So,
and that was the thing. It was more intimate setting, so people got a chance to, interact a little bit more. It was a nicer arrangement for that.
So that was good. Our friend Alejandro Modena was in the class.
Yes.
So that was cool. He came all the way from Costa Rica to hang out with us, and that was awesome.
Was he the one who set up his iPad?
No, that was Steve from Detail Doctors.
Did. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, he set up his iPad because he was going to try and do 2 classes at once.
Yeah, he was kind of like watching on one. I'm going to record this one, but I'm going to be over here.
Yeah. So... But we had we had a fire alarm in the middle of my class.
Yes.
And we all had to escape. So that was...
what I loved, though, was the leisurely pace everyone went at. So it's going off and the lights are going. The doors do that magnetic thing.
They automatically start closing.
We're like,
oh.
And people are kind of looking around. They're like, should we...
Yeah.
I guess...
Because it said we've detected a threat. We have a threat has been detected.
They didn't say
fire. There's
they
a
didn't
fire.
say any of that stuff. It was we have detected a threat.
Yeah.
It was very out of a movie. It was
weird. So we
started
started to walk out and we were watching all the flashers going off. Then we walked through some doors and there was no flashers.
And as we're out in the foyer, almost to the
front
entrance,
then they're like,
then
hey,
somebody
come
comes
on back, come on back. It's all
guys,
over. False alarm. Sorry.
Nope, come on back. And, that's the kind of stuff, unfortunately, that makes people not pay attention to fire alarms and warnings.
Yes.
It's almost always a false alarm until it isn't.
Because I was worried because your dad started cutting my plan, my PowerPoint.
Oh.
He started cutting it, and I was worried that I'd be under time because I had an hour to fill.
Sure.
And the PowerPoint was 35 minutes with time for questions.
Because when it comes to that stuff, you get a lot more out of it with the questions you can ask, because a lot of people have preconceived notions about
so I tried to give us a lot of time for questions, but then your dad started cutting things, and I was like, oh, that's 5 minutes right there.
Credit where credit's due. He's normally not the guy shortening things down.
No.
He's usually the guy, building everything up. Yeah. If you don't like long descriptions, well.
Yeah, so anyway, I was worried about that, and it was good because... we we had a fire alarm in
that,
the middle of
that
it.
took 10 minutes out of it.
It
right
worked
there.
out perfect. Like we got all the way back to time when we were done, and it was great. Everybody that attended the class liked the class. That was really good. And then we went upstairs and we put our booth together.
Right.
And said hi to everybody else, and did that stuff. And then you guys left to go. You took Jeff and I back to the house.
Yep.
I was running on a few hours of sleep, so I went to bed, took a nap, Jeff took a nap, and you guys left to go on your excursion.
We could have used a nap.
They went to
really.
Adam LZ's and worked on that.
And that was when we found out that he was in town, at the last second.
It was literally leaving at noon, grabbing stuff. And we packed a lot of stuff, but some of the stuff we packed somehow didn't make it back into the box when we packed it the first time, because we packed it, then we had to unpack it and then weigh everything as each individual item back into the box. So that way we could have a weight, because Freeman wants to know weights and your carrier wants to know weights, and we don't have a big scale that we can just slide the whole crate onto.
We've got several scales. They're just not the right kind of scale for that.
Well, they only go to so high.
Yeah.
And so we had to individually do this and write down numbers of everything and then put everything back in and then calculate everything. And so in the process of that, we forgot a bucket. We forgot a pad washer. We forgot some extra towels.
There were some key things, which always happens to us. But you know what? If not for those cases where that stuff goes wrong, we wouldn't be as flexible as we are. And I really pride ourselves on how we're able to really turn things around and turn them into a positive and just make it work.
Yeah. No, and that I mean, I think we're really good on the fly that way.
Yeah. I think
last year nothing showed up.
Yeah. We do better.
We had nothing for this event, and this year we had a ton of stuff, which was good, and we were only missing a couple things.
I would put our ability to cope in a bad situation against a lot of folks when it came to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just because it's not something that you want to have happen, but being mentally prepared to make something out of it is what's really key there. And I get it,
Well, and the biggest thing is to not freak out about stuff.
Yeah.
I think too many times people freak out or stress out about something.
And I certainly freak out and stress out
stuff
over
you can't
certain
things. But there's
things.
Stuff you can't control.
But that stuff, I just look at it and go, well, we're going to come up with a solution, and we
problem
do it.
solving.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys did. You made it work. But
Anthony was sick at that point too.
Anthony was also very sick, and then running on 4. You guys were both running on 4 hours of sleep, and you had to go film. What time did you get home that night? About 3 a.m.
I got home at about 2:33, and I was up till 4 loading all the footage that I had taken.
What time did you wake up and start walking around to wake all of us up? Because truth be told, Dane woke us all up that next day.
It's true, mostly just because
Friday morning.
Yeah.
Dane woke us up after sleeping for 2 hours.
I had 2 hours sleep.
He started waking everybody up at 6 a.m.
It was time to go, man.
Yeah, crazy, right? So Dane's had 4 hours of sleep the day before. Now 2 hours was all he had. Anthony took some NyQuil that messed him up pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then you guys dropped us off, Jeff and I, off at the convention center so we could start Mobile Tech because that was starting at 10.
Yep.
So we didn't have to leave till 8 o'clock. We had a good barrier at least to get ready.
Yeah.
And kind of. So Anthony tried to push it as far as he could.
But in Anthony and I's case, we had told Freddie we were going to meet him.
Yeah, we were going to be there at 10 o'clock.
Over at his shop and stuff.
Which was 45 minutes away.
So naturally, we had to account for the fact that he's further away. You guys have a 10 o'clock. You're just going to have to be at your place earlier if we're going to drop you off. So, yeah, we worked around that.
Apologize. Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to wake up. So,
well, and don't worry, guys. We'll get into detail of Anthony and I's side of things.
Yeah, I want them to tell their story.
We'll give you a thorough.
So we're kind of just giving you the run through of Mobile Tech
right now. I'm just kind of outlining it.
I can't believe it's only been 14 minutes I've been telling this story.
Yeah, I know. Well, so much stuff happened on this trip, but I'm mostly going to leave it up to Levi to cover the stuff that Anthony and I didn't get to see.
So Friday was really the start of the show. 10 a.m.
So we're
Mobile
out.
Tech
You guys are
Expo at the Orlando Convention Center. Please, next year, do come. It's really a lot of fun. It's a great event because you have the first day is just education only. That's all you have to focus on. You don't have to focus on, trying to go upstairs. So I want to see this stuff first because they're going to go we don't have time tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not a competition.
You have classes only the first day and then 2 full days of expo. that you can attend, check out, say hi. So, and it wasn't that, it was the biggest it's ever been, but it's still not very big. So you can catch everything.
Yeah, it felt like it was still a very intimate setting. Like all the big detailed people you want to see, they're probably there, and you can meet them and have a chat with them, and you're not like fighting off 100 other people to do it.
Right.
So it is nice to be able to have those moments where you can really talk about the stuff you want to talk about.
You get to say hi.
People. Yeah.
And that was like us. Hi. Like Scott Woolridge was there. He's the one that got us the case of Diet Pepsi and Red Bulls and all that. Scott. So thank you, Scott, for that. But he was there, so he came and hung out for a while. Alejandro Bonilla came all the way from Costa Rica.
Yeah,
he brought us some chocolates while we were there.
Such a nice dude.
So that was great. But and then just having people show up and say hi and talk, and it was just really good. We had a really good group, and it was a lot of fun. We were front row center, right when you walk in. That was us. So it was cool. Rupes was right next to us, or right adjacent. And then IK was back to back up to us.
Yeah.
And then Zenware was next to us. Mm-hmm. So we had a good spot. And one of the fun things was just, like I said, seeing everybody, talking to people. That first day flew by so fast. And I have to give a shout out to Alan Medcraft and Tasha from AM Details.
Seriously.
They came all the way from Scotland to be at Mobile Tech. And it was fun for Alan because Friday night we had our RT meetings. And Alan is an RT. And so we were able to do that, get all the RTs for the IDA together in a room. And then Friday night is the annual business meeting for the IDA, which is like the awards and inductions and things like that, and call to arms for the committees and all that kind of stuff. So, and we had a new president. So there was a lot of really neat stuff going on, and it was fun for Alan, who's a member of the IDA for Scotland in the UK, to be able to be there and represent the UK chapter at least, and be there at the event, as well as he brought Tasha, one of his employees. She got her certification and her skills validation over the weekend.
Knocked it all out.
Which is pretty rad. She's only been detailing 7 months, and it was an honor for me to be able to administer an SV to her. So that was cool. But yeah, it was really fun because it went by so fast.
Yeah.
You have no idea how fast that first day went. We just sat and talked. And I remember one point I stopped and I was like, Jeff, I have to go to the bathroom. And I ran to the bathroom and then grabbed a soda, grabbed a Diet Pepsi at the vending machine and ran back in. And it was like, next thing you know, it's 5 and we're done. And so we finished at 5, and then all of us headed back downstairs to one of the classrooms. And that's where the annual business meeting was held Friday night. And one of the cool things about that is we got to sit, we had some sliders, we were sitting with Paul Apollonia, who's an old great detailer friend of ours. I was sitting next to my buddy Ben Thompson from Mavinate, and then the guys from Malco were sitting at our table. Next to us was Bob Eichelberg from Flex and Chris Metcalf. Behind us was like Dylan and the Rupes guys and Auto Geek. Nice. And it was just, there was a lot of fun you just kind of, everybody's
around. Of
community. Yeah, you get to see everybody, like Billy Bogus and Justin Day and all those guys, and Alan and Tasha were all sitting at the table next to us. So it was just fun, but there was a lot of tables, and you could just see all the way across all the people. So
I'm sorry, I missed all that.
That was a lot of fun that night to be there for that, just to see everybody in one room, and then to get up. Keith gave a State of the Industry address, Keith Duplessis, that midway through I choked up on.
Oh.
Watching it because of what he's putting into detailing and the industry itself and where I've come from. It was really neat to see the growth that the industry has achieved and what it's planning on achieving in the coming years. It means a lot to someone who's dedicated their life or their livelihood to it. And, you know, I've had to deal with arguments with my wife on why don't you quit your job when I worked for a really hard shop, you know, that was just, it just wasn't a good fit. But I never had the confidence in myself to think I could do it on my own, or that I could quit and find a job that paid as well.
Sure.
Because, you know, again, high school education, I don't have, you know, I had one good skill, and that's polishing cars.
Yeah.
So to see what Keith put into his presentation was really exciting and humbling, and it made me feel really good to see that and go, wow, this is awesome. Then when we got up to do our, after they did the changing of the guard between Justin Lobato, the past president, and the new president, Jonathan Munsell, that was really cool. Let Jonathan talk about what his goals are for the IDA this year. But then committee chairs went up, and the new board of directors was inducted and all that stuff. But I went up, and while I was standing up there with Kyle Clark, who is our committee chair, I'm his co-chair of the certification committee. So we oversee for the IDA the certification exams and skills validation.
It's awesome.
So this year we talked about how we rewrote the certification tests. We're looking to add new certifications for marine, RV, and motorcycle, and how that's something we're working on actively as a committee. So any of you that are listening this year, join a committee. If you want to help us write those tests, we could use the help, and join the certification committee. It's 1 hour a month, the first Monday of every month. We do a go-to-meeting meeting. You can do it from your phone or online. But anyway, so one of the fun things, though, I didn't know was they called Kyle to be the committee chair again this year.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be the committee chair next year, 2020.
Wow.
Which is, I was not prepared. Like, I was surprised. And I was like,
well, did anybody know that
no,
beforehand,
Kyle
or?
didn't either. Neither of us did. And Kyle was like excited that we had another year to do our work, and keep this going. But for me to be to hear that I was going to be called to be the next co-chair, committee chair, was, for me, again, goes back to all those really hot, sweaty days, busting my ass to try and make something of myself.
And now you can look back and go, worth it.
I can look back at it and go holy cow, here's where detailing's going. And now next year, already this year and next year, or the last 2 years, I've been one of the leaders to help craft this or push this forward. But next year I'll be leading the charge.
Super cool.
To handle certifications for detailers around the world, which is crazy to think. And it's humbling.
No pressure.
It's humbling, dude. And when I heard that, I got off stage and I was instantly very weepy. I was doing my best to try and keep it locked in, but I was texting my wife, and I literally wrote her back and I said, thank you for putting up with that, because I remember 10 years ago, 8 years ago, it was a source of it was a very heavy source of contention in our marriage, because she made more than I did. And we were trying to get to a point where, we were like, well, we can't have kids, because if she quits her job, we lose our insurance, we lose our, our benefits and money. And it was very heartbreaking to go, I can't get us out of that.
Yeah.
And so to open my own shop was the start of, okay, now we can change it. Now I have the capability, the destiny to make it work. And then being here has allowed us to continue that destiny, where she's been able to stay home with the kids and be a mom to our kids. And so I had to tell her thank you. I had to say thank you for not, one, ever giving up on me, two, allowing me to not toil, but toil those days, even when it was really hard. Yeah. Because now I'm getting that kind of recognition, right? And so that was really humbling and really nice. And she was just like, I'm super proud of you. And we were just texting because I couldn't call her yet. Then they inducted they announced the new members, the new Founders Club members. Mm-hmm. And the Rag Company was part of that. Woo! So we are now Founders Club members, which means we are vested in the IDA, and we along with companies like Lake Country, Rupes, Flex, Auto Geek, Buff and Shine, and then a couple operators like Reddy Doyle, Prentice St. Clair. Who else is in that group? There's a couple other guys, Rob Schufler. There's a couple main guys that are detailers that run businesses that are also in it. So it's a mix of business owners, so like the main companies, the reps, and actual detailers, all part of this Founders Club that dictate, what the IDA is going to do in the long run and what its goal is. And so that was really neat. So your dad and I went up there and accepted our plaque that says we're part of the Founders Club, and we've got a lifetime, we're members and we're part of the IDA. Like, we are the IDA, and we're dedicated to furthering education in this industry.
Yep.
And we're trying to help detailers in this industry. And so to stand up there those times and get that kind of recognition, we were walking out. I went after the meeting. I called my wife and told her. I got weepy on the phone, kind of cried it out a little bit with her. And then your dad came out, and I did the same thing. I told him, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And he said, no, thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity. And that was a really, really special moment for me, and for your dad. And it was one of those things that, like, that made the trip for me. Being there, doing that, I was like, we're in good shape. And so, that's, sorry to get a little,
it's
emotional there, but that was amazing for us as a company, and for us, for me and Jeff and Dane and Anthony and everything we've tried to do with our podcast, with our videos. I mean, Dane and I started doing these videos out of my garage, out of my shop. We didn't know where it was going to go. We didn't know what it was going to do.
No.
And
we weren't trying to fit some specific mold. It was just personalities coming through. You're just doing it the way you want to do it, and hopefully people like it, right?
Yeah, and that's it.
If they don't, they move on. But the folks who do hang around, and they tell others who may feel the same way.
Yeah, and we're just doing it for you guys, and that's also the biggest thing is, like, I just spent a day of having people come up and shake your hand.
No, that's one of the coolest things.
Strokes the ego, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, whoa, keep this guy's head in check.
It's nice, but you got to understand, it's very humbling for me, because I still see myself as a high school graduate that washes cars for a living.
We're just regular people, man.
Right? I mean, but that's how I see it. Like, I'm still like, I'm not, this is what I do. And so it was just neat to see that we got a lot of recognition in the industry. It was fun. So anyway, that night, Jeff and I went out to dinner with Dylan, Alan Medcraft, Tasha, and Justin Day from Detailers of Las Vegas.
Fun.
And the six of us went to the Edison, which is at Disney Springs, and had dinner.
Yes, that place has a very cool aesthetic.
It's a very steampunk, old power plant, 1920s. It was pretty dope. And then we went and had dinner there, had some wicked food. It was super good. And then we went to the hangar, which is kind of like Indiana Jones hangar bar kind of thing. It was really cool. Went in there. Justin and I had a good talk and caught up a lot. We just had a lot of fun. I had fun with all those guys. And then Jeff and I were like, all right, it's 10 o'clock. Like, let's just go to sleep. Like, let's go back home, go to bed. But wait, which day was that?
Well, that was Friday night, right?
That was Friday night, yeah. No.
Because Anthony and I weren't there until Saturday when we were at the
No,
show.
so that was Thursday. Oh. Thursday night, we went to dinner with everybody.
See, Anthony and I were gone both Thursday and
so
Friday
Thursday,
night.
Sorry, guys. So it was Thursday night that we went to dinner with Justin and Dylan and all of them. That was Thursday night. Jeff and I, we went and met them all for dinner. That's what that was. We took a nap, woke up, went to dinner.
Right.
Then it was Saturday. So then Friday night after the class was a big party for the Pints and Polishers podcast.
Okay, yeah.
And that was being held at one of the restaurants in the hotel, like the main hotel, the Westgate, that was hosting everybody, which was weird because it was literally across the freeway from the convention center, and there was no good way to get there.
You'd think it would be close, but Orlando has this funny
Let's just put it this way. There are 4 hotels on the property at the convention center, and Mobile Tech Expo, not them, probably Freeman, set it up with the Westgate literally across Interstate 4 on the other side. So there was no way you could get to it, right?
Orlando
you
is
couldn't,
so...
You had to, there was no real shuttle that would take you. There was, but it took 20 minutes to get across the freeway.
You take 20 minutes of looping just to go like a mile over.
It was crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so Friday night, Jeff and I went to that Pints and Polishers party.
Yeah, how was that? I wasn't there.
We caught a ride. We caught a ride with Bob Phillips, Keith Duplessis, Rennie Doyle, and Justin Lobato.
Fun.
We all hopped in their Suburban that they had rented, went over to the hotel, hung out. Had a great night. I hung out with a lot of friends, the dudes from Carolina Detail Supply.
Nice.
So what's up, dudes? They're listening to this. And then Scott was there, hung out with Alejandro again. Dylan showed up. Everybody who was everybody. So talked to Brian Crosby of Detail Link. Everybody that was basically at Mobile Tech for detailers was at this party.
Fun.
And it was a lot of fun because you could literally go anywhere and talk to anybody. So Jeff was over here talking, and they were handing out glasses, and if you got a glass, that meant free beer. So
nice.
Rennie gave Jeff his glass because Rennie doesn't drink, I don't drink, and that's where. So your dad was pounding free beers.
It's a good thing Anthony and I weren't there.
He said he had 3. Not really sure. He might have had 4 or 5.
Oh,
but. Anyway, it was fun. So I just hung out. Dylan went and had tacos and came back to the party. And so it was just a good trip or good party there. Had a lot of fun. We came home, and you guys got home late again, 1:30.
Once again.
Friday night.
Yep.
So then Saturday was the last day of the convention, and you guys were in on it.
Yeah, we were actually there that time because... I had to work.
You had to work
that day because I was I volunteered for the IDA to help create their new orientation video, as they were calling it. I'm still, kind of figuring out, whether it's say
a new
for like
member
people who are joining
a new member orientation
kind of
video.
on the fence and looking at it. It's a really good way to give people a perspective from those who are in it.
Yeah.
So I went around and got testimonials from so many people, and it gave me a chance because I hadn't been there the night before. I got a chance to meet the new president, Jonathan. Got to meet several other folks. Obviously going through the different people who fit the different positions on up. From the bottom to the top of the organization. So it's very cool to get a chance to talk with those folks. And it was funny. Scott Woolrich followed me around for a while. I was just chatting with him, and he's just like, hey, how's it going? And he was hanging around the IDA booth, so I had a good talk with him. And, just met lots of folks, too, because there was just something funny about, the recognition you get. Even when I got the camera in hand, like, I'm the guy behind the camera usually. Apart from this is one of the rare occasions when people see my face, and yet there were people
I saw what Joe posted this morning. That was really
and,
nice.
Yeah, so that was very nice. And I just want to say I really appreciate it. And obviously I'm not some dude looking for fame or anything like that, but it's just nice to be recognized once in a while, so thank you.
Yeah.
But, it was a lot of fun just getting to go around the show, and I felt like while the show is not massive, I feel like I didn't get a chance to see a lot of it because I was so invested in what was going on, where I was at that moment, and I wasn't spending a whole lot of time just looking around like, ooh, look over here, look over there. I was really, invested in talking with the folks that I was with.
Yeah.
So it was all good things. It's just, finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
And poor Anthony couldn't even talk. He was so, oof.
Yeah, he was
burned out.
Anthony was literally 1, burned out, but 2, sicker than a dog.
Yeah.
He had so much cold medicine in him. It was making him nauseous.
Yeah.
So poor Anthony just kind of worked the booth as best he could.
So apologies to those who came by the booth expecting to see Anthony like he normally is.
He was
wiped out. So he lost his voice.
Yeah, he lost his voice.
So.
But again, Saturday was awesome. It went by fast. I did SV testing for the afternoon. So it was fun to do some SVs.
I still need to get a testimonial from you. I was walking around with the camera and I look like, oh, there's Levi. I'll go over.
Yeah.
Oh, he's busy. Never mind.
No, I was doing the SV testing.
Well, and Alan was too.
Which was good to have him there so he could knock out some tests and kind of get the hang of it as an RT. And then, but that was it. And then we were done. We packed up. We waited for our pack to get there, or crate.
Rod and Jody left their
Rod and Jody
Mevo
left their
behind.
Mevo from Zenware, so we have it. It's in the conference room.
We got it, guys.
But then we packed up. I mean, we waited for you guys had to run home because you left all the polishers and stuff in a box at the house. So you had to go grab that and come back. Luckily, we were like a mile away from the convention center.
Because all that stuff has to go in the crate.
We had to put it all in the crate.
On the planes with us.
So but we had everything in the crate by 6:30.
Yeah.
We were done. I mean, the show ended at 4, and we were packed and done by 6:30. But it was really great. We got to hang out with all the guys from Rupes. We got to hang out with Brian Guy from SwissVax. We got to hang out with Andy from KXK. It was fun to just sit and talk. We got to hang out with the Bon and Jim from IK. Like, just having the camaraderie and the friendship after the show was a lot of fun. Even though we were all packing up, putting stuff away, like we were all still having fun. And then once our stuff was packed, we just kind of hung out and talked.
Well, you guys got to do that. I was out driving.
Yeah, you were out driving. You were circling the block.
Traffic was nuts.
But after that, we just went and got some tacos. And then literally we all just went home and slept and hung out, which was probably the best thing we could have done.
It was the first chance Anthony and I had
a real night's sleep.
To get a real night's sleep. It was just like, okay, this is it. Take advantage. We got to be out in the morning. Not early, but early enough.
No, we didn't have to be out on Sunday. We didn't have to be out. That was Saturday night. We were going to go to Matt's on Sunday.
Yeah, we were traveling a bit on Sunday.
Yeah, so we got to get some sleep, but we woke up at 9 or 8, and we were on the road by 9:15 or so. And we headed out to Matt's at Obsessed Garage so we could go to his place. And
we were joined by
PNS, so Rennie and Bob and Kyle Clark of Extreme Detailing. And Kyle, again, is the chairman of the certification committee. So all of us went to Matt's shop at OG headquarters. So we got to meet Matt's dad, Ken, which is great because I talked to him on the phone.
Very nice guy.
Once a week, I'm on the phone with him. And so it was fun to finally actually meet. And then after they left,
I was going to say, I was just excited to see whatever interaction between Matt and Rennie. Like, you think of, like, different perspectives of detailing and stuff. I know there's a lot of folks who are like, what happened? Yeah. But actually, it was really cool. Like, everybody got along. It was really interesting. Rennie was just looking around fascinated by a lot of that stuff.
Well, it was cool for us.
I think he's going to get one of those lifts.
And it was cool for us to see Matt's shop this year because last year he hadn't even put the flooring in.
It was an open.
He had just started to put the lift in. The sheetrock had just been finished. You know, there wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
But now we were able to see all the shelving.
Mm-hmm. It really changed the look down.
It was really and it's laid out really well too. So
podcast room was cool too.
Yeah, that was fun. But anyway, we hung out with them, and then when we were done, we just went over to Matt's house because he lives a mile away, and we headed over to his house and just hung out. We retaught him how to use the IKs.
You can look forward to seeing that video come up on his channel sometime.
We ate some pizza.
I gave him the footage.
Tavarish came over, and we just hung out at Matt's house.
Yeah.
Literally.
So it was
shots
Freddie,
of videos,
Matt, and the rest of us, and we all just
hung out, ate pizza, and then Matt's like, you guys want to watch half a movie?
Yeah.
And so we went into Matt's little theater room, and we sat and watched a movie for a while. I was exhausted and fell asleep on his couch.
Oh, yeah.
Through that movie.
Well, we made fun of it because it was, not a great movie, so it was more fun to talk over it. But
yeah, but then about 5 o'clock we left because we had to meet Alex for dinner, Anthony's sister. So we left again at about 5 and then headed back to Disney Springs, and we took you guys to the Edison this time.
Right.
So that you and Anthony could check it out because it was really cool, and you had a really good burger.
Mm-hmm. No, it was really good, actually.
That was the burger I had the night before, but I had soup. I had tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich the other night, which was the grilled cheese sandwich was probably that big around. I mean, it was huge. It was massive. So that was good. And then we just kind of hung out, did some shopping, picked up some stuff. I brought some things home for the kids. Anthony brought something home for Katie. Ooh. You brought nothing home for Liz because you're cold.
I talked to her after I got home, and she goes, "No, you're fine. You thought of the right thing." Literally, she's like not a Disney girl, so she's like, "It's okay." I totally. She goes, "Now, if you found some of the weird Japanese stuff, I really like that stuff. But apart from a few things, she was like, no, it's
could have
okay.
gotten her an egg, baby."
She knew exactly what those were.
But
oh wow! At Matt's house, we totally overlooked something that I never thought in a million years would happen.
What happened?
Unfortunately, Anthony's not here to talk about it, but I did record the whole thing, and I went along with him. To put in perspective how uncharacteristically mild and like just toned down Anthony was, Matt looked at him and said, "Dude, you need to wake up. You need to wake up." He handed Anthony the keys to his GT3 RS and said,
Go around the block.
Go around the block. Take it up the road. Play around with it. Have some fun. Wake yourself up." And we just looked at each other like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Hold on.
Who has he ever...
No one. I don't think anybody's ever driven that.
It was mind-boggling. So I got the whole thing on camera, not even thinking it was going to happen. I was recording them washing and doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And then he pulls it out and it's like, oh, that'll be cool. And then he's just like, "You need to wake up, Anthony." And Anthony's like, oh.
He was. Anthony was like dazed.
Because originally when we were going to do, our only plan was to do the IK video.
Yeah.
We just wanted
I
to
was
like,
gonna
do a
lead
video
it
of
with
the
him,
IK
but
spares. And Levi was going to be the guy in it.
Anthony knows so much more and is more confident on the IKs where...
Just because of experience.
Just because we've kind of given it to him. It's kind of his baby.
It's his baby. He found him, so he...
Yeah, so that's his thing. All I did was put the idea in his head that he needed to get him. Mm-hmm. So to find a good sprayer. That was it. Anthony did all the other legwork. He's the one that set the relationship up with Jim and Iban over there. And like I said, he's the guy. He's the IK guy. So, so it really felt better to just have him do it. So I kind of started more at the beginning of it, just me hanging out, but then I kind of stepped back.
He was just like, So he needed.
But after that GT3 RS drive around, he came in and he turned it on and killed it. That was great,
and it was good. Matt didn't hold back. He asked hard questions.
He did.
And Anthony had real answers. And what we found was, perspective, expectations have a lot to do with it. You're expecting things to work a certain way, and when he explains that's a good amount of foam that will do the job, and Matt's going, but it doesn't look like enough, then you go, oh, I see the problem.
That was the other thing. That was like it was a different perception of what works and what doesn't,
or what
people want. Matt wanted full coverage of his wheel.
He wants.
We were like, well, you got a lot of coverage and you've got more.
We know it's enough.
We know it's plenty to work with, but he wanted more.
And that's what was great was you got that like back and forth in the video. So I think his audience will enjoy
it'll be good.
that.
I think everybody will like it. So anyway, it was fun. We just had pizza at Matt's, hung out. I found a new amazing thing, which is a refrigerator that Matt has that just has, it's an ice machine, under cabinet ice machine.
Oh, man.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm going to buy one and put one in my house. That's a new goal.
Yep.
But anyway, so we came home, went and had dinner at Edison, then literally came home.
Yeah.
And we went back to the house and slept because we didn't have to leave till we had to check out at 10.
Yeah.
So we slept till 9, got up, checked out, grabbed all our stuff, then went and had breakfast at a little diner around the corner, hung out there for a while, and then went to Gatorland, took pictures of ourselves in front of the big jaws and stuff, and then went back to the airport.
Yeah.
Took the car back.
And it was about that moment that Freddie released his video, which I recommend people go check out. You can get a sneak peek at what Car Wash Wednesday will eventually be.
He did a really good job, and it was fun to see that he cut it so quick.
It so fast.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Wow.
But all in all, it was fun. We got on the plane. No big thing. I mean, we flew Boise to Salt Lake, Orlando to Salt Lake, and then Salt Lake to Boise. And we got in 11:15 last night, 11:10 by the time we got our bags and we were out the door. I was home in my house by 11:45.
Yeah.
Giving my wife a hug and a kiss, and it was great. I was just happy. It's a long trip, but I was happy to be home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was happy to be home. My boy woke me up this morning, or jumped me this morning, like a little spider monkey. So that was really good. So excited to be home. Next weekend, Anthony and I are at Rupes for the OG event, so that'll be fun. And then 2 weeks later, we'll be the three of us will be, well, 4 of us will all be in Atlanta for the Serum Summit. So those of you that are looking, we'll be there. But what you're probably wondering about on the table here, some stuff.
Hey.
So first things first, Hans Closen, one of our good buds, sent us a ton of candy and stroopwafels. So
I'm going to have one right
These
now.
are really good. So in case you guys are wondering, thank you, Hans. He sent us a bunch of little ones and tins of these, and then he sent us a bunch of candies and stuff. When we got back this morning, Carolyn told us that she found the box that we had been saving, and she dispersed it evenly amongst the employees. So Hans, yes, he wrote us a letter about everything that went in, and one of the things he said was the biggest thing was that he goes, I want all the employees. He goes, I put enough in for all the employees, so please make sure each employee gets in on tasting it all. They're not just for the TRC podcasters to taste and talk about on video, lol. Like the Fisherman's Friends podcast. Now everybody at TRC gets some Dutch cookies and candy. Hans, thank you. One of the things that I wanted you to know is I love stroopwafels. They're one of my favorite.
Absolutely.
Can't like cookies ever. So that was really cool. He also sent some mug holders and stuff so you could put your stroopwafel on top of your coffee to use the heat of the coffee to warm it up to soften the caramel on the bigger ones.
Oh, man.
So thank you, Hans, for these. That's been awesome. As you can see here, we've got the new PR2 from KXK that has its new hammered finish.
Yeah, there you can see it.
Yeah.
There we go.
So the hammered finish is a little shinier, glossier, but it doesn't ever show dirt because of the texture on it. So it's going to stay cleaner looking longer. We are going to be bringing in the new PR2s and PR1s in this finish later, probably, I don't know, maybe end of the month. They're already out now, but like I said, we're going to try and sell some more of the current PR2s before we switch over to these. I like these, and Jeff does too.
It's a cool finish.
So thanks to Andy for bringing one with him to Mobile Tech to give to us. I put it in my suitcase and flew it home. And then we got a product at SEMA that got mailed to us. We met the guy at SEMA. Well, I didn't meet him. John did. But I got to talk to Bud while I was at Mobile Tech. And one of the things he was really focused on was how his products work. But what he wanted was not our recommendation on how the product worked, but on how our towels worked with his product. So he sent us a ton. So the company's called Nano Ceramic. They have a hard and a soft coating. The hard is their professional, meaning that you have to be an authorized installer to install their hard. Soft is their consumer grade version. So basically, this is the ceramic remover.
Okay.
And then they gave us some other products down here that we have to play with. But basically, he sent me a letter for John, is what he wrote, but John just kind of didn't.
He didn't know what.
He didn't know really what to do with it, so he brought it up and put it in the pile of stuff. So I felt really bad that we've kind of neglected it. So we're going to be doing some testing with this, mostly because when I met Bud, I didn't know that's who he was or that this was a product until we started talking. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So I am going to give it a thorough once over for you guys. So we'll see how this product works. What he's told me, it's very similar to OptiCoat.
Okay.
In the sense that it's very easy to use, very strong. I think hard has 5 years. Soft is like 3 years. So, but simple, easy to use like gloss coat.
Okay.
Can stay wet for almost 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Because it doesn't cross-link quite the same, but when it does cross-link, it's super hard to the point that you can wet sand on it. And if you have a thickness gauge, you can tell the difference in the thickness. They recommend 2 coats, stuff like that. So I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, I'm intrigued. And this isn't a typical SiO2. It's not an SiC. He didn't explain it other than that it's basically like a ceramic infused clear coat.
It's gonna use it and find out
that we're putting on. So we're gonna see. We're gonna vet it. And everything I heard so far has been really positive. Basically, what he's told me. So I'm excited to find out if it's true. Because if it's as easy and it lasts, it'd be pretty good to see. Yeah. So just so you guys know, so we're gonna be testing the Nano Ceramic. Thank you to Bud for sending us some. Again, thank you, Hansi, for sending us some candies and treats. Like I said, Carolyn told us that everybody down there loved it.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, yeah, I tried to split everything up so you guys still had some. She goes, I tried to make it even. And we were like, oh, we were going to open the box and go through it. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No,
so,
it's perfect. If it got everybody down there, that's what really matters.
Yeah. So that was really good. So what'd you do when you got home?
Man, I immediately was greeted by my super exuberant peer niece. She was so happy to see me. It was great. And, just got home, decided, you know what, I'm hungry. Ran out for some late-night Jack in the Box. You know how that is.
Yeah.
I'm terrible for you, but it's the way it goes.
What time did you get in this morning?
This morning I got in
because I came in at like
30.
Yeah, that's when I got here too.
Yeah.
I left my house. No, I left my house at 10:30. I got here right about 11.
Yeah, I was here a little before you, but at the same time, I told Tim, I was like, I'm going to be late because I'm just physically exhausted. Something about this trip, going on this trip, really took it out of me more.
East Coast
than
way
I'm
harder.
used to.
East Coast is way harder because of the time change. And you guys had a lot of. Sorry, I'm eating a stroopwafel. You guys burned the candle at both ends.
Anthony and I
a lot
really
harder than Jeff and I did.
Put a lot of strain.
I was tired
on our minds and bodies working on stuff we did.
Yeah, I was tired, but you guys were really tired.
Did. But at the same time, I mean, by not planning everything within an inch of its life, we did open ourselves up to some extra strain that maybe we wouldn't have if we planned for all that stuff. But really, we had the supplies we had. We had to take them across the country, so we made use of the stuff we were able to get our hands on when we were there, and that's just the way it's got to work. Everything's a little compromised when you're away from home. But at the same time, I feel like the end result is worth it, and it really shows. If you learn the right techniques and stuff, you can do a lot with a little. And in fairness, I think you might enjoy these upcoming videos because we really put optimum tire coating to use.
Nice.
We use a lot of bead maker. We use gloss coat. And we kind of mix things up, had some fun with it. But all in all, I think it's gonna be some good stuff coming. Plus, I'm thinking of just editing together that video I took of Anthony getting the keys to the GT3 and driving. I know it's not a detail video, but it's fun anyway.
Yeah.
People know and like Anthony, so just throw it out there. Have fun. And I mean, it's not one of those things that are like, oh, look how cool we are. We got to drive an expensive car. No, really, you can hear in the video, I'm talking going, oh, my God, can you believe we're able to do it? This is nuts. Just so excited. I mean,
Matt
the
was,
opportunities are insane.
Matt was smiling the whole time.
I could see the smile on his face when we came back.
Too.
You guys were with him as we're driving, right? You said he was laughing as he could hear it.
He's like, oh, they went the other way. They're not supposed to go that way. Like,
well, so. Anthony was really leery about taking it out on the open road stuff, but he wanted to give it a chance to at least rev it, take it up, accelerate a bit, and go around. Yeah. Nothing too crazy, but there were little loops in the neighborhood you could do. No, and it was a big, wide open neighborhood. So
and that car sounded vicious. I've never heard that car.
That thing ripped my eardrums out.
You can hear it on video, but when you're standing next to it,
it's different.
It's totally different.
It affects your body.
Yeah, that thing's loud. And sounds like a race car. It's not. It's not a normal Porsche.
Yeah, I can only imagine how it felt for Anthony with his ear infection. As that's just yikes.
Yeah, it was fun.
Super cool.
Matt
super
always
fun.
Throws courtesy revs as he was moving it around. It was fun.
Oh, yeah. Every car. I made sure, every time he moved a new car into the bay so we could, wash it or whatever, he would always just right at the end. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the courtesy rev.
That was fun. I got Hadley, I got her a little pen set. So she opened her pen set this morning from Disney. I got her a bunch of, their Disney characters, 5 pens in a pack. And so she was super excited because she had all these different colored pens to write with. And then I got Augie a little Groot figure that sat on his shoulder with a magnet. So you'd slide the magnet under the shirt, and then you'd set Groot on, and the magnet would hold Groot. So you could walk around like baby Groot. So he was super excited about that. And then I surprised Carly by giving her, I got her a little birthstone necklace.
Oh, yeah,
Mickey
I saw that.
Birthstone. And she was like, oh my gosh. So it was fun to, I haven't ever brought home gifts on a company trip before. I brought home stuff for the kids, like slap bracelets and things like that, little things. But this is the first time I've actually bought actual gifts and brought them home with me. So that was fun. And it was nice to be home.
Yeah.
I'm thankful it was cold this morning, and we had snow.
Speaking of cold, there was snow.
That made me feel good.
All of a sudden.
Yeah, I went out to go. It wasn't snowing when I let the dog out at 7:30, and then when I got up to take Hadley to school at 8:30, I walked out and I was like, "Hey, it's snowing." And I told Carly, she was like, "Ooh, awesome!" And then when I left for work at 10:30, I'm like, "Oh, there's like 2 inches of snow on the ground," and the roads were icy as all get out.
It was a little jarring coming from like 76 degrees to this.
Oh, I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
It was fun though.
I was so excited, and my wife was very excited because she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I hope winter's not over because it was so warm." Boise, like, we found out that on Thursday, Boise was hotter than Orlando.
What?
On Thursday.
Well, I may or may not have drifted the Volvo out of the neighborhood this morning.
I may or may not have drifted the Suburban out of the neighborhood as well. And I had it in 4-wheel drive with studs.
Yep.
33s, and it was
at
all
8.1. Don't slow down for
nobody.
Buddy.
No, it was just it was like, oh my gosh. So that was good, but it was fun. I had a good time with it, and like I said, it was one of those things. Like, it's nice being home.
Yep.
Next weekend, Anthony and I knock out Rupes.
It's a very short trip.
It's a quick trip. It's just the weekend. Yep. Literally, we leave on, I think we leave Thursday morning or Friday morning. We're there Friday and Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think is what it is. So we're there Thursday and Friday. Yeah. And
that's for the OG event.
Yeah. So Anthony's going to stay, or Anthony's coming home Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming home Saturday. I'm staying that night, Friday night, just to hang out. We're at dinner and I with Dylan, and then our friends, the Dreesens, and then I'll probably go hang out at Dylan's house. He was like, "You can come over to my place, hang out with family." So I'll do that before my flight and just hang out and be friends. So that'll be good. But yeah, and then I'm excited to go to Atlanta. I've never been to Atlanta.
Same here. So, I'm excited to go and see what that's like.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
that should be a pretty good setup. It seems like it's going to be a big show. Everybody I've talked to seems to be going to the Serum Summit. So
yeah, that's
pretty cool.
G-Technic for those who don't know. But yeah, that's going to be really cool. And what it's like cabins kind of thing.
I think they're for the event people. They've rented out that lodge.
It looked like little cottages.
For the people that are attending, I think it's something different. So is how they're doing it. I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that.
No, I just remember seeing pictures and going,
it's not
that's
that
different.
It's not that big the place, but so anyway, I'm just really excited about it. I think it's going to be fun. I think we'll all have a good time. Hopefully, you guys will keep up and see all the fun stuff we're doing. And you're enjoying it.
We're traveling.
Other than that, man, this is going to be kind of a short week for us.
Yeah,
kind of a fast-paced week for us, but we'll get it all done, get it handled, and then next week is another short week. So, but yeah, I think that's about it, dude.
We're just working on streamlining stuff because we want to be able to get more content out there for you guys,
faster, quicker,
but not at the expense of quality. Like, that's the big thing everybody always worries about is, if you're doing more, does that mean it's going to be worse or something? No.
Yeah,
we're going to make sure we keep up the bar, but it's just we're trying to improve efficiencies where we can. Efficiency in detailing is great, but in production of content, it's also important as well. And I am personally terrible at it, so I vow to improve.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to be cracking the whip on you guys.
Good. Yeah.
Going like, get to work. Go. Come on.
New task manager over here. So,
Tim, why isn't this not done yet? Dane told me not to. Dane, why is this not done yet? Oh, I didn't know.
We'll have fun with it.
Yeah, it'll be good, but we're working on that. We worked on that a little bit this morning.
Yep.
Just trying to get our processes in order because as we're growing, stuff's going to start getting crazy. So we need to have some things in hand and available for all of us to do this. So anyway, I think that's it, buddy. Close it out.
All right. Once again, thank you so much for listening and or watching. If you're on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel, we also have the Rag Company YouTube channel. Make sure if you're subscribed to one, you check out the other. You subscribe to the other. I assume if you like one, you'll probably like the other, but hey, that's all I can ask for, and I am losing my voice right now. But I wanted to make sure.
A fisherman's friend.
I could use one of those, but I wanted to remind people, yes, we are now on Spotify.
Yep.
That's an important thing for a lot of folks because a lot of people have Spotify. Make sure you look up the podcast there, just the Rag Company Podcast. And if you could please, leave a rating and review for us over on
Please.
iTunes. That's really helpful, and it doesn't cost you anything. It just gets us out in front of more people.
Yep.
You know, the more people do it, the more people
Takes
see
2
it.
seconds. Just tell us we're an awesome podcast, or
you
how
know,
badass we are, or how tough Dane is, or
real tough.
tell Dane to take down his Christmas tree.
Well,
Even do that. Leave that as a
might
rating.
be a little drastic.
Dane, 5 stars. Take your Christmas tree down. That's a good comment too.
Oh yeah, you know what? Maybe do that. Let's see how many of those we get. Anyway, guys.
I'm going to put this wager out there. If there are 3 comments that ask you to take your tree down, I think you're going to have to do it.
They have to be from different people, though.
They
It
do
can't
have to
just
be
the
from
same
3 different
person leaving
accounts.
their comments.
3 different accounts. Tell Dane to take his Christmas tree down.
Watch, somebody's just going to switch to their alt accounts and just do that.
That's all right. It's 3 accounts. Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
If it happens, we will document it. Dane putting his Christmas tree away.
Yeah, I will record that. All right, guys. Thank you once again, and we'll make sure we got Anthony here next week to talk about the other stuff that went on this trip. But for now, saying adios.
2 parts.